That's right. And it's the walk-on music which leads to many people all around the country running towards their radios, running towards their TV sets, because that means Spencer Oliver is about to broadcast for the next hour, live on talkSPORT, live on TV with myself and Simon. And Spencer joins us at this particular time in the proceedings this Thursday as always. Good afternoon, Spencer.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
There is never a time you don't come in here and have that cheeky smile, that impish grin, and you're ready to go.
Best hour of the week, Jim. Best hour of the week working with yourself and Simon.
Spence, we're delighted to have you. So much talk about big events in the world of boxing. Of course, we have had a few. Are we in for another on December the 13th in Manchester? Is this one to put in our diaries? Because it was only yesterday Derek Chisora said, get this date down, I'm back.
Yo, let me tell you something. Are you ready? Let me tell you something. You not ready? We are going back to Manchester, 13th of December, road to 50, shut down. Do you understand? So book your hotels, book your restaurants. Me and Queensbury, we are coming to shut it down in Manchester, 13th of December. Opponent will be announced soon. I had one, but the big boss took him, so you can't really argue when the big boss said what he wants. So it happened. So, but road to 50 in Manchester, shut down. Last Dance 2 happening in Manchester. Whoa!
Last Dance 2. There's always a last dance. It's maybe not the last one, but maybe this will be. He sits on 49 fights, Derek Chisora, and it's fight number 50. We understand it's going to be in the same card. We know it's going to be in the same card as Moses Itauma. Spencer, what do you know? Who's he fighting?
Yeah, had a good conversation with Derek last night, actually. What do I know? Who's he fighting? He wouldn't really say too much. There's names obviously in the hat.
Who's the top contender?
If you look at the heavyweight landscape right now, Oleksandr Usyk's out. You know, Agit Kabayel, he's busy. We got Wardley versus Parker. That's coming up on the 25th. So you're narrowing the names down, aren't you? You hear about Daniel Dubois coming back in December. Could it be Daniel Dubois? I mean, that would be a fascinating fight, him and Derek Chisora. But it is going to be a big name for sure. I mean, sharing, headlining with Moses Itauma. He goes in. I reckon he'll probably box someone like a Jagba. That sells. That would be good. So well, Derek Chisora against a big name for sure.
Let me throw a name at you. I mean, reportedly coming back around that time, Daniel Dubois. Could you see that, Simon? Is that something that would get you off your seat? That Derek Chisora says goodbye on the night he fights Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, I mean, it could see Derek Chisora off his feet, let alone me off my seat. Yeah, I mean, I can see that fight for a variety of reasons, because it's a fitting end if indeed Derek decides that this is the end. It will command and demand a reasonable level of engagement, so that means their fees will be right. And Derek's on a good run of form. So, you know, Daniel...
He's won his last three,
yeah. And prior to losing to Tyson Fury, he was on a reasonable run of form there as well.
Yeah.
So he's in decent nick, Derek, and you know that whoever goes in with Derek Chisora is going to be in a fight. I mean, you talk about Oleksandr Usyk describing the fight they had with Derek Chisora as one of the most difficult fights he had. And Derek actually thinking he could have won that fight and believes emphatically he could have won that fight.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Derek goes back to when he boxed Vitaly Klitschko in 2014. He put up a good effort boxing Klitschko, and he's boxed everyone since then. Tyson Fury, he's been in with twice. You know, Dillian Whyte, he's been in with twice. And you just look at that, and his recent run of form, as Simon said, Gerald Washington was a good win.
Joe Joyce
as
Otto
well.
Wallin.
Otto Wallin last time out, and you go like, he has some momentum with him at the ripe old age of 41, coming up to his 50th fight. Here's the thing though, right? Derek Chisora, and I spoke to him last night, he said, yeah, this is it, 50 and done. What if he goes in against a big name, one of the names maybe that we've just mentioned,
and
he wins?
Yep.
Then surely we get 51, right? So, you know, look, Derek says not, by the way. He says this is the farewell. I know we said it last time, but this time for sure is 50 and out. Let's see. It'll be an emotional night for sure, because Derek's been a fantastic servant to boxing.
If it is Daniel Dubois, if it is, we're not certain about it, not by a long stretch. I mean, that many people would show up for that, because as you rightly say, Simon, he's hitting a bit of form. Who's to say that Chisora doesn't put in a stellar performance and get Dubois out of there?
Absolutely. I mean, look, you look at Derek and the character of Derek. You know, we know that he's very durable and he takes a lot to try and knock him over. I mean, David Haye done it, and you know, we look at who else knocked Derek out. David Haye, and that's really sort of that's it. He's been in with everyone, took all the shots, and you go, if he takes Daniel Dubois into the later rounds, then Derek's
every
got
chance.
Absolutely
Every
you
chance.
You definitely can't write him out.
Dillian stopped him.
And Dillian Whyte, sorry, yeah, that's right. And that was late in the fight, in 11th round.
But if it is Dubois, Simon, is this suitable for him? He's looking for a rebuild fight.
Well, yeah, but this is a good rebuild fight because it has credibility attached to it, because everyone knows that Derek, irrespective of the fact that Derek's 41 years of age, he is going to give everybody a fight, and he's going to come to fight, and he's going to bring the fights. And Daniel will have questions asked of him. And so if Daniel were to deal with Derek in a compelling fashion, people will consider that as part of his rehabilitation. If it's a difficult fight for Daniel, people are going to look at it and go the polar opposite. So there's a lot of risk. If this is indeed the fight, which I wouldn't be surprised that it is, then I would be, I would think it's going to be a really intriguing fight. It's a fight I'd go and want to see, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. I think they're both at a certain stage of their career where there's a lot on the line for both guys. And, you know, victory is a must for both guys as well. Yeah, it's an intriguing fight. Stylistically, these two lock horns. It's a fan-friendly fight, this.
And he's going to get asked, Daniel's going to get asked questions, because the questions still reverberate, whether he likes it or he doesn't, a new trainer or no new trainer, about Daniel's stomach for certain things. And of course, it takes immense stomach to go into a boxing ring, something I've never done. And I'm not judging it. I'm saying that at the elite level, there were questions asked about whether Daniel really wants to do certain things at certain times that elite fighters have to do when it comes on top. And Derek will bring that to him. Derek will bring that question to him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we know the date, December the 13th. We know where, Manchester, and we know one of the fighters, Derek Chisora. The question is, who does he go in against? And we're trying to narrow it down, and we've alighted on Daniel Dubois. Maybe we're right on that. We think we might be. And once it's announced, we'll be able to confirm it to you. Moses Itauma on that same card. So all roads lead to Manchester, it would seem, on that date, the date being December the 13th. Before December the 13th, in the month of November, specifically the 14th, another big fight, but a strange one. Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. Yeah, we'll look at that next. Down next, we shall see. But William Saliba, a new 5-year deal for him at Arsenal. Spencer is in studio with us as we talk boxing this Thursday lunchtime. And only this morning, another big fight announced in this country. It's Frazer Clarke, and we now know that Frazer Clarke will go in against Jeamie TKV for the British heavyweight title, and that is on October the 25th. It's in Derby on October the 25th. In Derby. I'm delighted to say hot foot from that announcement is one Frazer Clarke. Frazer, good afternoon.
Good to see you, Jim.
Good to see you, mate. And for those watching on your TV sets this Thursday lunchtime, you see Mr. Clarke in his working habitat in the gym, having had a workout session by the looks of him. Frazer, tell us, are you upbeat about this? This is just announced in the last few hours.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long 6 months since I last fought, and obviously with the boxer situation, there's been a lot of question marks. But I was delighted, to finally get this one over the line. We've got it done. A great fight against a good opponent for the British title. So I'm looking forward to it.
And just before the boys come in, this is Ben Shalom and Boxer, and it's their first free-to-air model, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's live on the BBC, on BBC Two. Obviously. That as a fighter, that it didn't matter to me where it was, but the fact that it's on the BBC Two and there's going to be so many eyes on it is good for all parties.
Yeah, it's great for boxing fans, isn't it, Fraser? We get you boxing for the British title, BBC Two, 8 till 10, and you can switch over then and see your rivals, Fabio, Wardley, going in against Joseph Parker. That's fantastic for boxing fans.
Yeah, fantastic for. I mean, obviously that's a mega fight, a massive fight, and. You best believe if I wasn't fighting myself, I'd definitely be down at the O2 supporting that one, because it'd be a great fight against two men who are really well. Really looking forward to that one. But more important business to take care of, Spence, and that's myself in Derby on the 25th.
Yep, you got the third attempt at the British title. You lost your first two to Fabio Wardley. Great to see you recovering from that.
I drew one, Spence. Give me that.
I'll give you that, actually. You're absolutely right, mate. Absolutely. But third attempt at trying to collect the title. So I apologise about that, mate. Fight of the year, by the way, as well. But the second one, you did get a shocking injury, but it's great to see you back, mate, and having all that confidence as well.
Yeah, the second one, obviously, what happened. You know, I got my head spun, but at the end of the day, I've grew from that experience. I'm back. I feel better than ever. I had a nice run out against Tete, but you know, I always want to be in title fights, and thankfully, you know, I'm back fighting for the British title. And like I say, against a good Jeamie TKV, one that I felt was pinging David Ajayi until, you know, that controversial finish. So I know what he's about. He's a good opponent, and I'm looking forward to the contest.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Frazer, was the challenge that he represents. Obviously, Jeamie came onto a lot of people's radar because of the fight with David Ajayi and because of the perceived injustice of the referee's intervention that created the knockout to some extent. How much of a challenge and how much of a difficult fight is Jeamie TKV for you and stylistically for you?
I'm taking him very seriously, you know, like I do all my opponents, but he's in a good gym. He's surrounded by good company. You know, he's got good heavyweights in his stable, Moses Itauma, Fabio Wardley, Anthony Joshua, and we've seen what he brought to the ring last time he was out. I thought he was very impressive against David Ajayi, and to be honest, I thought he was winning the fight. So, you know, and David Ajayi gave a good performance last time against Filip Hrgovic. So, well, he competed a little bit. But, yes, I'm taking him very seriously, and I'm really up for this one.
Looking forward to it. I mean, you were impressive, Frazer, when you came back after the Wardley loss. I mean, you dispatched this fella, Ebenezer Tete, in style, first round stoppage.
Yeah, you know, that was it was a run out, to be honest, which I needed. Obviously, there was a lot of question marks around me going into that fight after the injury. Is he going to be the same? But the only thing that happened from that injury, from that terrible time, was you know, I got inspired. I had to go dig deep and find some self-belief. And I found that in bundles, and I'm proving it in the gym. I proved it against Tete, but, you know, the British title is what it's about now, so it's time to prove it on the 25th.
And what if you beat Jeamie TKV, and you're sure you will, and you become a British heavyweight champion? Is that it? Would that be a good time to say, right, I've got what I want now? Would you be content with that, or would you want more?
You watch your tongue, Jim, mate. There's no content there. Well, I don't know who you think you are. You might speak to some boxers that will be content with that, but absolutely not. I'm in a division that's thriving, and opportunity seems to be around every corner, providing I do the business and do my job on the 25th, you know, and do it impressive style, which I plan on doing. So, no, that's definitely not the end for me. It'll be something ticked off the list. But like I say, opportunity around every corner in this division, great fights to be made. But none of that even matters unless I do the business on the 25th, and I will do that.
Frazer, you've only had 11 contests as a professional, and to say that you are actually now a seasoned pro, which you are, you know, the roller coaster that you've been on with that war that you've had, you know, and then coming back from the injury that you sustained as well, I mean, is a credit to yourself, mate. I know you had a long amateur career, an extensive amateur career, but a relative novice really in the pro ranks, and you've achieved a lot already.
Yeah, well, we say that, Spencer. I've been in some big fights on some good occasions, but as far as achievements goes, I haven't achieved nothing yet. Do you know what I mean? That's the reality of it. You know, when we put the accolades there, yeah, he's been involved in some big fights, but I've got no titles, I've got nothing to show for it. So I've got my chance again here. Like you said, I've had two bites at the cherry. This time I've got to make it happen, you know, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. You know, I'm working harder than ever, like I say. And you know, you're not measured off the big nights you've been involved in this sport. You're measured off what you've won, and that's what we're going to start doing.
So there's a lot on the line for you here, mate. It's a must-win contest, isn't it?
Absolutely. I feel like it is every time I go into the ring now. You know, I think you might get your one chance, which obviously your one loss, which happened against Fabio Wardley, but and people say that was at British level, but look, Fabio's gone on and he's competing at a much higher level. He's competing at world level now, so I'm not sure where we want to place that fight, but this definitely is British level. Judging on what Jamie's done so far. But like I said, I'm preparing for this like my world title fight.
Where do you see this fella's pathway, Simon? If he gets through this
Well, I was about to ask him that, because ultimately, Frazer, I know you won't look past this fight, and neither should you do, but there will be a thought process in the back of your mind. There'll be a thought process in your team's mind about the direction of travel. You'll see the re-energising of someone that you beat, in Dave Allen and where he's going and the opportunities he might be creating for himself. What would you like to see happen? Is it a European heavyweight title that you'd like to go for? Collect the belt, win the British against Jeamie, move on to the European and give yourself an opportunity for scale? Or do you have designated targets in your mind, Frazer?
I think, it's a great question. There's definitely titles is what I'm in the sport for now. I'm in the sport to collect titles, earn money, and do myself proud. But the European title is something that is definitely prestigious, something I'd like to get. Looking at Dave Allen, he is like a beacon of hope for every fighter in the world. I believe. The way he's gone from almost nothing to something overnight without being disrespectful. He's in big shows, and he's someone I respect. I know I fought him and I beat him, so we'll see what level he's at, and we can determine where I go after that. Providing he wins against Makhmudov, who knows? We might see me and Dave again for the British title when I've won that. So anything's possible.
Frazer, good man. Looking forward to it. What are you going to bring then on October the 25th?
Bring in the heat. Come on, it is. You know what? It's going to be a derby. It's a smallish arena, a bit of a bear pit. It's going to be, so it's going to be loud. It's going to be a good atmosphere. And, every time I get in the ring, one way or the other, there's excitement. That's not always been a positive for me. I've been on my back. I've been up, but I get knocked down, but I will get up again. And this time, I'm up to stay, mate.
Oh, Frazer, good luck, mate. And just to be clear, you wouldn't be happy just to stay as a British heavyweight champ. You want more, as you underlined moments ago to me.
You go and wash your mouth out, Jim. I don't want to hear that talk ever again.
Frazer, thank you very much indeed. I wish him well. He's a breath of fresh air in your sport, Spence, is he not?
Yeah, he really is. Jamie TKV, who he's fighting, is a breath of fresh air as well. Both two really nice guys.
Who wins it now that Frazer's no longer with us?
It's a really tough call because Jamie TKV was winning that fight against David Adelaide, and he was getting into a rhythm, and you suspect he would have won if it wasn't for the controversy of the referee getting involved, pulling his hand away. So, look, it's a tough call. I mean, the experience is definitely with Frazer Clarke. He's been there, seen it, done it. He's been in the trenches. He's had to come back from injury, all of that stuff. You'd probably lean towards Frazer on paper to be the favourite in that one, but it's a very interesting fight. You can't write Jamie off because he sort of likes being that underdog as well, and it's a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, we've spoken to both of them in the past, Simon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Frazer always is. You find yourself, enamoured with Frazer because he's such a warm personality, in the same way that you saw personalities in the studio with Fabio, Wardley, and Joseph Parker.
Yeah,
you don't have to be a bore. You don't have to be, someone that's unpleasant, like various names I could mention, to be someone that is a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, who's like that?
Who do you fancy?
I'll make from Morecambe.
Who wins it, Simon?
I would lean towards Frazer, but I don't think it would be easy for him.
No, it's a good fight.
Great fight. Derby on October the 25th, and it's for the British heavyweight title. Jamie TKV going in against a man we've just been speaking to, Frazer Clarke, this lunchtime. Stay with us. A lot more coming your way. We're at 12:30.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
Spencer is in our midst. We are talking boxing this lunchtime. We being Jim Whyte, Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver. And we're talking about big fights on the horizon. Derek Chisora, we know, is going to fight later on in the year. But how about this? In 2 months, Anthony Yarde will face the unbeaten WBC world champion David Benavidez. It's not here, it's in Saudi Arabia. And remember, this won't be his second attempt to win a world title. It'll be Yarde's third attempt after losses against Sergei Kovalev in 2019 and Arthur Beterbiev in 2023. Yarde's trainer and manager, Tunde Ajayi, joins us live this lunchtime. Tunde, I tell you what, third time lucky, is it?
I don't think luck has anything to do with it, but it's definitely the third time, and hopefully it's going to be the best time.
He's not had an easy route, has he, Tunde? You look at the fighters that he's had to go in with, Kovalev back in 2019 out in Russia, and then Beterbiev more recently. You go like fighters that get these opportunities to fight for world titles. Anthony Yarde certainly hasn't had an easy one.
Definitely. I feel like Ant's been in there against Hall of Famers, two of the greatest Russian fighters ever to put on a pair of gloves. And in both contests, Ant proved he belongs in world class. Probably a little bit inexperienced, both times. I mean, when someone's had 300, 400 amateur fights and going up against and who only had 12 amateur fights, I think experience played a big part. But listen, I've pulled the old 12 fight novice amateur fight for long enough, and it's very experienced now. That's my son. And it's very experienced now, and we're ready to go.
Well, he gets his third opportunity against David Benavidez, a guy that's undefeated as well. People that don't know him, known as the Monster, knocked most of his opponents out. Again, not another world title shot, but a very difficult opponent.
Yeah, I mean, listen, again, you said it, Spence. Ant can't be. There's no way Ant has taken an easy ride, and listen, I think when a fighter's career is over, probably 2 months after their career is over, everyone forgets about them. So it's always for me, and I guess for Ant, it's about living in the moment, looking yourself in the mirror and knowing that when the opportunities arose, that you never back down. You took the challenge, and that's what we want to see, right? We don't want to hear about fights being offered to others and they're turning it down. We already know David Benavidez, and you're all gonna see it on the Gloves Are Off. Every fighter turned down David Benavidez, including Bivol, including Beterbiev, including Joshua Boatsy, including Callum Smith. At the first call, David Benavidez' dad said it. Within 5 minutes, Turki Al-Sheikh asks Anthony, does he want the fight? And guess what? The fight was made. So Ant is there, Spence, and he always has been there. He's a fighter through and through.
That's good to hear, Tunde. That's good to hear. Simon, here's the thing. Anthony Yarde, when he's fought the likes of Kovalev and Beterbiev, he, as Tunde has alluded to, he's not afraid to go in there. And he's had some big moments against big opponents. Is he world level?
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he's world level. He's been, but the thing with, and Tunde and I will disagree on this, he's been a gallant loser. He's got a lot of currency out of being very competitive in fights with very good fighters. And Benavidez, the question about Benavidez is, does he carry the power up at light heavy? Because he hasn't knocked anybody out at light heavy. It's a difficult fight for Anthony. He was in the studio 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I think he was brilliant in what he said. I don't know about Callum Smith ducking Benavidez. I'm sure the Smith brothers have something different, different view on that. But it's a great fight. And it's a fight I think that Anthony has a chance of winning. I mean, Benavidez is the real deal.
Absolutely. And can I add to that, talking about being world-class, Anthony Yarde, yes, he is world-class. And the two fighters that he has lost to, you go, well, he's come up short, but they are pound-for-pound stars. They're not just regular world champions, because you do get opportunities when certain titles become vacant, etc., etc. Yarde is a guy that has stepped up to the plate against both fighters at the time when no one wanted to fight them.
But here's the thing, though, Tunde. Your man Anthony Yarde doesn't want to be known just as a gallant loser, to use Simon's words.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be known as a loser, hence why he continues to go for his dreams. He continues to campaign with so much will. And if there's one thing everybody better get ready for, is a fight. Anthony Yarde will not be denied. And how do you know he keeps on coming back? And yes, listen, we're not going to disagree. He has come up short. But isn't it better to come up short knowing that you've tried than not to try at all, Sam?
Of course.
And as I said, when all's said and done, boxers are quickly forgotten about. And if there's one thing Anthony Yarde is going to be remembered by, it's just like that man in the gym in Manor in Victoria said to me, Anthony Yarde's my favourite fighter. Why? Because he takes his challenge, and that's what boxing is about. This is what the fans pay to see. This is why he's heading the bill in Saudi Arabia with the youngest ever undisputed champion, Bam Bam Rodriguez, who is my favorite fighter outside of Anthony Yarde, Abdullah Mason, Sam Noakes, Artur Beterbiev is now fighting on the undercard of Anthony Yarde. So how funny life is. But that's what happens when you dare to be great over and over again.
Yeah, that really is a great card on the 22nd, Tunde, and it's good to see Anthony getting that another opportunity going in for that world title. Do you feel that this is his last chance to win the world title this third time, or do you feel that even if he comes up short, there's more opportunity?
Yeah, I never agree with that. The last chance.
No, I'm asking you. Do you feel that?
No. I don't feel because as you have all said, David Benavidez is a young champion, and there's always going to be champions. How many times has my good friend whose gym we're in at the moment, Derek Chisora, people have asked him to retire, but he keeps on getting the big fights, and you're all going to be delighted at his next fight in December. And this is what happens when someone refuses to give up and they're physically fit and healthy, and they're in the gym every day. Anthony Yarde is a consummate professional, never taken more than a week out of the gym in over 10 years. And that's why he's here again for the third time. The only man ever, I know some of you boxing historians may or may not know, the only other person
this challenge in front of Anthony, do you think this is his best chance to have won a fight? I mean, obviously Beterbiev, when he fought him, was at the peak of his powers potentially. Kovalev, he had chances, but he was very young in Anthony's career, and the inexperience probably got the better of him when he could have taken the opportunity and could have gotten him out of there. So both of those have a backstory to them. Do you think this is the most difficult, the biggest opportunity? What do you think, Tunde?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, Sam, because the main factor is Ant has got the experience. Another main factor is the fact that Anthony is a career light heavyweight. As you alluded to, David Benavidez has fought two light heavyweights now. Mm-hmm. He gassed out in the first one against Hrgovic, and he fought a 10-fight novice in David Morrell, and he got dropped twice. So I'm not overlooking that. It is a great opportunity for Ant. And one, I feel, without doing any talking, I feel Ant is going to shock a lot of people on that night.
Well, we hope so.
Terrific. 2 months' time. Tunde, thank you very much indeed. Tunde Ajayi, who is the trainer and manager of Anthony Yarde, as Anthony goes in for the third time to try and win himself a world title, this time around against David Benavidez, and that's in Saudi Arabia. We are coming up to 1:45. I think we're going to finish with one of the top promoters, and that is Frank Warren. Tune in on the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcast from, and you will find out. We're going to find out a lot more as to what's going on in the world of boxing in the final part today. Spencer is in studio alongside Simon and myself. I'm delighted to say we've been joined for our final part today, top boxing promoter. Many would argue the real star, one of the real stars of the recent Netflix documentary series involving the Hearns, and he is Frank Warren. Mr. Warren, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, chaps. How are you?
Now, for those watching on your TV at the moment, this is what you look like when you make millions from the world of boxing and you've been extremely successful over many years. Frank, you're being driven around the streets, presumably of London, with your shades on and the sun out. You're looking $1 million.
$1 million lira.
Which is about 75p, yeah.
$1 million lira. You're looking good, Frank. You're looking good.
Thank you. You don't look bad yourself, sweetheart.
We found out this morning a bit more as to the wheres and whens for Derek Chisora. It's going to be December the 13th in Manchester, and it says 50th and goodbye fight. Who's he going to fight, Frank?
I don't know yet. It's something we've got to sort out. We've got quite a way to go yet before we officially announce that. So, but when we do, we do. We've got some great cards coming up, but I just can't give you any information on that at the moment because we were looking at an opponent, but that opponent's no longer available. So we've got to fish around and hunt for a new one.
Would a man who's looking for a rebuild fight be available and be in your thoughts, and he'd be Daniel Dubois?
He's always in my thoughts, but at the moment he has an injury, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting finish to the year, Frank, isn't it? With these heavyweights, we've got this great fight coming up with Fabio, Wardley, Joseph Parker, and you're looking at where the landscape lies, who goes in with who. We got Deontay Wilder floating around as well. Is he in the picture?
No, not on one of our shows. He isn't, not at the moment.
But Moses Itauma, of course, building up to a big finish. He'll top the bill on the night Chisora fights. What more can you tell us about who Moses may face up to?
We're working on opponents for him at the moment, and once we know where we are, we'll announce them. It's very difficult, and obviously I know everybody wants to know what's happening, but it's very difficult when you start talking about names and then suddenly they're not available, or because you talk about them, they ask for crazy money. So we wait until we've got the deal done. But, you know, Moses will definitely be fighting, as we announced earlier, be fighting at the end of the year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him back in action.
I mean, in your sphere of business, someone like Moses Itauma, when people see what he's capable of, do you get a polite no thanks from a few?
You get that from some of them, and then the other way of saying no thanks is to ask for crazy money, which doesn't make it economically viable. But there are people, obviously, who do want to fight him, and we're talking to a couple at the moment, and you know, we've delivered for him up to us yet, and we will deliver for him at the end of the year.
It's been quite a job, Frank, hasn't it, to try and hold Moses back and gain him that experience, and as we all know, get him those valuable rounds that's needed before he steps up into those world honours. So that really has been more difficult than sort of letting him go, isn't it?
Well, it has, but it's funny, all the names you talk about, like Derek's 41, thinking of fights he's had, Deontay Wilder, world champion, the experience he's had, and, you know, various other names that you know, even Frazer Clarke, looking at his record, what he's had and so forth, who's been on this morning. And then you look at Moses, he's only had 13 fights. He's never had a senior amateur bout or junior bouts.
Frank, I was going to ask you, what do you make of Eubank's comments recently? Chris Eubank, Jr., you've been on the receiving end of some of them. He threw some comments around. Robert Smith caught some shrapnel about some of the observations about the safety aspect of the fight, the ambulance guys not being allowed to let him out of the stadium, Eddie coming in for it. When you listen to that, I mean, what do you make of that?
It's garbage.
That's
you
what
know,
I
there's
thought.
no way anybody stops an ambulance, and that would be down to the venue anyway. It's the venue who controls what happens outside the ring area. You know, the promoter's responsible for what we call the backstage area and the actual ring itself. All other aspects of security lies with the stadium that you book. So it's just a nonsense. And, you know, the stuff he said with Robert Smith, I mean, you know, you know, I wouldn't put up with that, but that's up to them what they do.
Indeed. What's happening? How good a fight are we looking forward to when Zach Parker goes in against Josh Buatsi, Frank?
I think it's going to be look, you know, for both of them, that's a real crossroad fight. I mean, we say it a lot in boxing, but it is a massive, massive fight for the pair of them. You know, they're both good fighters. They both need to win. And that's why it's going to be such a dramatic fight. I really do feel we're going to see something extra special with a fight up there.
Yeah, that's November the 1st, Frank, isn't it? And like you
Manchester, yeah, that's in Manchester, yeah. And it's a really good card, you know, some really good light heavyweights on there. The light heavyweight division is a little bit on fire at the moment. So, you know, the guys are on there and it's a good card. But, you know, you know, Josh Buatsi and Zach I think is going to be a real tough fight for both of them.
Yeah, crossroads fight for both of them. And you know, the winner keeps his name in the frame for world title shots, and for the loser, they are both at that stage of their career where you go, where do they go? You know, have they got any appetite to box at a lower level?
Yeah, well, that's the bottom line of it, as you say. But if you want to fight the best and make the money, you got to get there, and you got to win meaningful fights. And this is a meaningful fight.
Well, that leads you on to the conversation we just had previously with Tunde, who was on a moment ago, about Anthony Yarde. I mean, you had a bit of nonsense with Anthony 18 months ago. That's all been sorted out. You've now got him another shot for a world title. How do you look at that fight, Frank?
It's a tough fight. He's in with a guy who has the 4 belts. He's a very, very good quality fighter. But for Anthony, this is another opportunity for him. One thing about it is he's got a lot of experience now, and he's going to need it because he's in with a good fighter. Well, you know, with Benavidez, it's whether I know he has taken the power up there, but you know, he's in with a real solid competitor in Anthony, who until he got beat by Benavidez was giving him a tough fight, as he was with his other previous challenge, which I think, you know, he went in with not enough, maybe the experience side of not just him, the corner as well, and it didn't work for him. But the fact of the matter is, it is an opportunity. It's a great fight card, a real great fight card, and you know, things happen in boxing. You know, there are you know, what we call upsets in boxing, and you know, for Anthony, this is a massive opportunity for him.
And Frank, I think we should finish in what perceivably could be described as a battle of the promoters. October 25, you get Wardley Parker, and Ben Shalom has Clarke up against Jeamie TKV on free to air. Has Frank decided that it doesn't want to respond to that one?
I think it's fair to
You're
say.
an old story,
I
aren't
think-
you?
Is he back? Did you go through a tunnel there, Frank?
I don't know what it was. I think I had a blackout. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed that, I think they've done a 4-fight deal with BBC, and the first show that the BBC they give them is to clash with another show. It's madness. I don't understand it. But look, it is what it is. It's up against our show. I mean, the two guys are fighting on our main event. Fabio Wardley is in a real tough fight against Joe Parker. I mean, these are different levels, by the way. And Fabio's beaten obviously Frazer in big style, certainly in the last fight. And I really do like Frazer, but he absolutely poleaxed him in his last fight, or the fight he had with him. And then you look at Joe Parker, who's on a roll and is an interim champion. So it's a big fight. It's a great fight card. And it is what it is. We'll get on with it and do what we got to do. But levels, these are different levels we're talking about. Seriously different levels.
Yeah. I thought you'd fallen out with me there, Frank, when I asked about Ben Shalom and free to air and the threat that
No. I mean, I
poses.
know it's your favourite subject, Jim, but, come on. Well, one thing about it, all we'll be doing is talking about it 4 times a year now.
Frank, great to speak to you. Carry on cruising around that particular part of London in the sunshine with those expensive shades on. Frank Warren joining us this lunchtime. Spencer Oliver, there's nothing more to be said than thanks a million.
Thank you, Jim.
Safe flight.
Wonderful as always.
Thanks, guys. Off to Nigeria on Sunday.
Nigeria's.
Off to Nigeria, the much-travelled Spencer Oliver.
Yep,
That
Brandon
passport.
Glanson versus Marcus Brown. We've got Amir
cruiserweight.
Khan.
Cruiserweight?
Yeah, cruiserweight. Great fight there. We've got Amir Khan's nephew on there as well, Abdul Khan. Amir Khan Promotions out there.
Yeah.
And Dan Aziz as well. He's also boxing out there. So a lot of eyes. Moses Itauma, Lawrence Okoli, and a whole raft of other fighters are going out there as well. It's going to be live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel.
Spencer, thank you so much. Travel safe and you stay safe, and I'll see you very soon.
You will.
It's at 1 o'clock.